should smash this guy. Because he smashed Alfred Kashakian. Am I live right now?
We are, ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation. I was trying to get you to finish that sentence, but
Yeah, I can jump back into it.
we are live with Blake Bulletproof Troop. And if you don't know, Blake will be competing for the LXF Heavyweight Championship of the
I'll
world.
be winning it. I won't just be competing for it.
And when is that happening?
Friday the 13th, a week from today, baby. Return of the Nightmare.
Yikes, yikes. And we're here at Maria's Mexican Restaurant, San Pedro, California. Because the least we can do for Blake Bulletproof Troop, who did such a badass job commentating at FightersRep 9, I think Knucklehead Nation will agree, is this to get him some dinner. So Blake, but this video is not about FightersRep 9. We'll touch on that a little bit.
I don't mind touching on a little bit about some of my favorite fights from that. I had a good time that night.
We'll touch on it, but this is about what we typically do on the channel, which is talk about upcoming fights and react to ones that happen. And we got a big one on Saturday. Israel Adesanya taking on Yoel Romero at UFC 248.
Yeah.
Just what are some of your thoughts on this one, Blake?
I'm going to start by saying who I think is going to win. Statistically speaking, I think Izzy's going to win. I don't think he's going to knock Yoel out. I think Yoel's going to really put it on him in the early rounds. And people will be like, oh man, I don't know I think he might even get him taken down. But I think as you see 2, 3, 4, Izzy starts to run away a lot more with the fight. Statistically speaking, Izzy's takedown defense is pretty good. And I don't remember what the exact numbers are, but statistically speaking, Izzy should have a pretty good amount of success defending takedowns as well as landing shots. Yoel's known for absorbing a handful of strikes per minute, and Izzy's known for landing a handful of strikes per minute. Yoel's also known for having some takedown. Izzy's known for having pretty good takedown defense. I really think we're going to see a good amount of sprawl and brawl and ground and pound in that first round, but I think we're going to start to see Yoel slow partway through round 2, particularly into round 3, and it's a 5-round fight, so I think that we're going to see a Yoel slow down through 3, 4, and 5. I think one Yoel will probably win, maybe even in pretty dominant fashion, and I think Izzy's going to learn some things about footwork and where not to be, and how in the way that Yoel gets to take down. It wouldn't surprise me, Yoel gets some takedowns kind of easily in the first round. Maybe not initially, but maybe like 2 minutes in, lands a takedown, lands the ground where Izzy gets up, gets taken down again, probably in a very similar fashion. And then I think Izzy's going to start picking up on how to stay out of range and stepping in areas of danger, or what's a dangerous place for him, And when he starts figuring that out, because Izzy's a very experienced competitor who will know a ton about ring positioning and using his footwork to be able to avoid a lot of his attacks. So I don't think he's going to have to worry about his sprawl, because I think he's going to be in a position where he's able to avoid the takedown without even necessarily having to go to a full sprawl. If he gets stuck in a spot where Yoel's got a single leg or gets in deep on him or something, I think he's going to be a tough guy to get out and sprawl on him. I mean, you're talking about an Olympic caliber athlete. Not only an Olympic caliber athlete, but an Olympic caliber athlete that is placed in the Olympics, a silver medal in wrestling. I don't remember what style, but so I think if Yoel gets in and gets a hold of him, which I think will happen in the first round, once or twice, get a takedown, pound on him a little bit, and people will be like, oh, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Might even get another body lock in the second round, but I think you're going to start seeing significantly less takedown stuff due to Izzy's footwork in 2. And then 3, I think you're going to see Yoel start chasing and getting pieced up more and more and getting more tired throughout. I think Yoel's really tough. I don't think he gets put away. I think Izzy wins a 5-round fight, 3-2, 4-1. That's what I think is going to happen. But you can never count Yoel out, man. He's a freak athlete. He's so fun to watch. Something else you got to keep in mind is I think this is the first time Yoel's made weight in his last 4 fights.
That's crazy.
Or the second time in his last 5, I want to say it was, or some statistic like that. Which doesn't surprise me when you look at the dude. But then again, he's been cutting weight and doing all this for so long. But he's 42 years old also. So he's probably used to cutting weight through his 20s, and it started slowing down. I'm in my 30s now. It definitely started slowing down. He's 42. I can only imagine how weight comes off him water-wise. But you look at the dude, he doesn't look like he's built like he's 42, so it's tough. Another big thing to look at is the level of competition and the amount of competition these guys have been doing. Yoel had that silver medal when Izzy was like 9 years old. He was an Olympic champion or medalist before Izzy had even started fighting. And I mean,
before puberty.
Yeah, long before puberty, you know? And not only that, but so you're probably talking about an early 20 athlete. He'd probably been wrestling for 15 years before that.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a dude who's probably got, if he's 42, 35 years of wrestling or so, maybe more than that under his belt. And some of that being, I mean, the last 20 years of that being close to the highest level of competition you can have. Like, the guy's an insane freak. You can't count out his power, his explosiveness, and the crazy shit he does. Because he knows he has great wrestling, isn't worried about being taken down. You'll see him do wild stuff. And he's got the power to knock out big, tough dudes. He knocked out Yoel Romero. Knocked out Chris Weidman really bad, given that was off a shot. I wouldn't see that.
Luke Rockhold, too. He did him in dirty.
Who did I say?
Well, you said Weidman, which also happened, right?
Yeah.
That also
Weidman was a big knee on a shot.
Yeah.
Luke Rockhold, you know, he just throws a ton of really unorthodox stuff that's hard to see coming. And it's so fast and explosive that there's not going to be a whole lot of time to see it coming either, you know? But like I said, I think the first round you're going to see Izzy getting... He's going to be on his wheels a lot. Yoel's going to figure out how to get in, grab on him, maybe body lock him, dump him, hit him a little bit. You're going to see some panic in Izzy, but he's going to get up, probably get dumped again, maybe against the cage, a little more pounding. Round ends, he goes back to his corner, and his corner's like, dude, you need to be on that fucking bike, moving in and out. Don't ever cut this way, blah, 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 blah. You're going to start to see that change. Maybe it'll be either rounds 3 and 4 you start seeing that change. On rounds 1 and 2 are kind of, 1 there's a little bit more feeling out, 2 a lot more of that ground and pound happens, and between 2 and 3 you start seeing that adjustment. Would be how I see that fight going.
If you're in Yoel Romero's corner, what's your strategy in this fight?
Pressure. Come out swinging, head movements, trying to stay off the line, trying to swing in, get a leg, throwing bombs at Izzy.
I feel like that's the strategy to beat Adesanya if you're going to beat him. That's probably
I really think
it,
that's a
right?
good strategy to beat a lot of people. When you just throw bombs at people and get in on them.
Hand grenades and elbows?
And elbows, baby. Yeah, hand grenades, put them on their back, and you start dropping elbows.
Do you think it'll be more of a stand-up fight, or will there be a lot of ground game going on here?
I think rounds 1 and 2 are going to have a good amount more grappling than 3, 4, and 5. I think 3, 4, and 5 are going to be almost an exclusive stand-up. I think you'll see Yoel shooting for some takedowns. I don't necessarily think that you'll see him. But I think Izzy will start doing a really good job of making him get more desperate and using, because Izzy's long, man.
Yeah,
using his range. If he's using straight attacks and keep him a meter stick away, you know, that's a given. He's an Olympic caliber athlete shooting shots, but you start getting Yoel tired. Yoel goes really, really hard, which is why he gets tired.
Why do you? Yeah, great. Thank you. Why do you think Izzy picked this fight? Because he didn't have to fight this guy, right?
I mean, who would be other people for him to defend his belt against? You know, like that people would be really excited to see.
Maybe a rematch with Gastelum?
Yeah, I mean,
I wanted to see him fight
I thought that Gastelum fight, I was shocked at how close that fight was. I thought Izzy was going to be much more of a dominant performance by Izzy in that fight than it was. You know, if that Izzy shows up to fight Yoel, though, he's going to lose this fight. Because I don't know if he was really concerned about getting put on his back, and that's why he never let his hands go, and why Gastelum's hands were able to land so much. But if that Izzy shows up, that Izzy's not going to win the fight. It has to be I don't want to say aggressive as in pushing forward, but an Izzy that's trying to play his game, a comfortable Izzy that's playing his game, I think wins this fight.
Can he hurt Romero?
Oh, he can knock anybody out, bro. You kick people in the head with your shin, it doesn't have to be hard. I absolutely think anybody can knock anybody out, particularly a guy like Adesanya. Dude, if you just watch it, you put his name into YouTube. He's a dude who's fought, 3 dudes in a night, knocked like all 3 of them out. You know? So I absolutely think he can, especially with one of his kicks. I think if he knocks him out, it's going to be with a kick.
I feel like the best fight in that division is Paulo Costa, and
he's not able to fight right now.
Right. But I'm almost thinking like Adesanya took this fight to kind of get him ready for that fight. You know what I mean? Because they're similar.
Very similar in terms of especially their athletic prowess or whatever. Like both those guys are not just physical specimens, but they perform at a very high level of explosiveness. And I mean, they're good. I'm not saying they're not good.
Very
but
physical pressure fighters too.
Right,
like you said.
and they're explosive, strong, overwhelming type fighters. I'd be really interested to see who wins between Yoel and Paulo. You know, I think that would be a fun fight to watch too. That'd be like watching two superheroes fight.
That was a great fight. I mean, they did it
they
once.
fight?
Yeah, they fought once, and Paulo won that fight. So that's why I was like unsure why Yoel was fighting Izzy, but I guess because like you said,
Relevance, who knows? Maybe his contract.
and
Maybe
Paulo wasn't available. So.
maybe that's what they told him. I don't know enough about the situation of why if he was forced to take that fight, if that was a fight where he chose. I don't know enough about it. I'm still down to watch it though.
Yeah, it was a really good fight. It was like you said, it was like two superheroes banging it out.
That does not surprise me. That sounds like a fun one.
For sure. So yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, I feel like Izzy's going to have to use his length. He's going to have to fight on the outside because I don't think he's got the power to deal with Yoel Romero on the inside. Really, he's got to keep it long. I think
He's just in such danger of being put on his back. How he's going to react on his back? I mean, I can't say that he's out of the fight if he's on his back, but I wouldn't want to be under Yoel Romero, and I'm a very seasoned grappler,
You're a big man.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, so I appreciate your comments on that, but you're a big man, and you're going to be fighting for a heavyweight title again for LXF. Your first heavyweight bout.
Heavyweight debut, baby.
How much are you weighing right now?
About 240 pounds.
Wow.
Solid muscle. I mean, I'd say like no more than 10% body fat yoked.
Wow.
So I was, for my last fight at 205, I was probably I got in the cage probably 225, but I was walking typically closer to 230. So I mean, and that was September to 1st, so October, November, December, January, February, March. It was the beginning of March, so 5 months.
No.
5 months I put on about 10 to 15 pounds. So a lot of people are like, man, you got huge. It took me 5 months to do it, to have, well, not to get this big, but to get this big and start being able to sustain to maintain it and sustain the conditioning that I needed as well, So I didn't put on a ton of size. I put on maybe 10 pounds of muscle, but it's a performance-based muscle where I'm fast and I have good endurance. I didn't just put on muscle and just build up my engine like a Mack truck, but not build the gas tanks and stuff to go with it. And particularly, it's not even I got really strong, bro. I put up 400 pounds for 2 reps on bench. I got really strong. I haven't lifted for a few weeks. I cut that out like 4 weeks out. A lot of explosive training, a lot of everything. A lot of conditioning, a lot of skill work, a lot of everything, man. I'm training camp. Coming to fight the best in the world. Mike Quintero he's the champ for a reason. So I'm taking the fight very seriously and putting in a lot of very strategically invested energy to be the best Blake Troop that I can be on Friday the 13th, baby. It's the return of the nightmare. This is the most focused bulletproof troop that I've ever been. And the last time I was like this focused was when I fought Moses Marietta for the CXF belt in December of 2016 when Bulletproof Troop debuted. And so
That was a war.
So I got this bad boy. Shout out to Moses Marietta. Got me over here looking like a piggy bank.
So you win this, you become the heavyweight
When
champ.
I win this,
Yeah,
I'm going to be the heavyweight champ. I'm going to be the baddest man on the West Coast.
And what happens? Well, I mean, I don't want you. Obviously, you're not looking past it. But what's the next move for you after that?
I got a whole bunch of things that I'm working on in terms of film work and professional wrestling. I started doing commentary for Championship Wrestling in Hollywood. I'm one of their color commentary sports analysts, combat sports analysts. I've got a bunch of film work that I'm trying to dabble in. I've been doing professional wrestling training for about a year and a half. I definitely see myself having a future in professional wrestling very soon. But I don't really know necessarily. I don't necessarily have a timetable on that stuff. I want to make sure that when I debut, that I exceed expectations. I want to come in and people be wowed by me instead of be like, he's good, but he needs a lot of work, And a lot of guys are really. I think a lot of people with a lot of opportunities jump into things before, without making the smartest steps, just to get in and get started. And I'm not necessarily, and I did the exact same thing in my fight career where I didn't have any amateur fights. I jumped right into the pros. My second fight was at the Aloha Stadium. My fourth fight was on TV. But as a result, I jumped in early and I wasn't prepared for the opportunities that were given to me. And as a result, I had to fight my way out of a hole in my fighting career where I went 4-5 in my first 9 fights. I'm now 8-6, you know, so I've gone 5-1 in my last
6 fights.
6 fights. 4-fight win streak for a while. Or 4-1, excuse me. But so back to what I was saying about the professional wrestling, is I don't want to make the same mistake and diving in too deep into the deep end before I'm necessarily prepared for it. I've already built up a big brand that has a significant following in the combat sports world, so I'd rather make sure I'm making the right introductions with the right people in the right places to help accelerate me towards what my ultimate goal is, which would be the WWE. But that's down the line. Right now, all I'm thinking about is you, Mike Quintero. Bang, bang.
And if you haven't seen it, head on over to Blake's Instagram.
At Bulletproof Troop on Instagram, baby. I have some fun. And make sure when you stop by, you click the follow button and you watch the story.
And there's going to be a great promo coming out for this fight sometime soon. You can guarantee it.
Monday it's dropping. So I got a Friday the 13th promo that is off the chain. It will exceed all expectations of professional wrestling fans, and it's stuff that MMA fans have never even seen before. It's kind of like what Henry Cejudo's doing, but way better and way less cringy. It's like dope. I almost feel bad. I was about to say Kobe Covington, but I couldn't even go there. It's more like Henry Cejudo's promos. I made a promo making fun of Henry Cejudo too.
I love that scowl he makes, though, man. That is so funny to me.
The king of cringe.
So you were talking about how you're a combat sports analyst for what's the organization?
Championship Wrestling.
Championship Wrestling.
I believe KDOC here in Los Angeles.
Well, but you're also a commentator.
I have also done some commentary for mixed martial arts and kickboxing, particularly FightersRep 9 the other day.
I love it, and let me tell you, man, as the owner of FightersRep, I'm so impressed, man. I'm so blown away by the way you're able to kind of keep our interests as, people watching the kickboxing fights on FightersRep, how knowledgeable you are, how accessible it is to people, like we were talking about earlier, whether they're watching kickboxing for the first time or whether they're, seasoned fight fans. It's just fantastic commentary, and it's only your second time ever doing it. I mean, I kind of wanted to see, what is it about your personality, your experience, your background that makes you just so adept at commentating? Because that was only your second time. You absolutely killed it.
So, I would say something that has helped me, and this has helped me across my career for the most part. It's something I'm kind of learning where I need to reel in, but I've just basically completely eliminated the brain to mouth filter, and I just act and do, and I'm just me to 100%, and I'm just not worried about what anybody thinks anymore. That's why I walk around with a big grenade chain, and blah, 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 and so forth. It's the same thing when I talk. It just comes out almost like if I was sitting down with my dad and explaining to him what's going on during this fight, because I know a lot of people, I have a much deeper understanding of combat sports strategies than the majority of the people watching or listening at home, probably the majority of the people anywhere, so I just try and explain what's going on to people. Like, chess is cool to play if you know how the pieces move, but it's way cooler if you know how to play chess, if you know what I mean, or to watch a game of chess if you just know how the pieces move. But if you understand like setups and all these things, now you can start really enjoying the thing. And so I basically just try to explain it to somebody like they don't know what's going on, and I just kind of talk. And
it's crazy, man. It's crazy because I was just like I told you, man, my wife was even like, who is that guy? I was like, it's Blake, man. He's just he's talking, but he's keeping us entertained. He knows exactly what he's talking about because his background in the fight game, and we really appreciate having you, Blake.
I have fun. It's fun to allow that. I have a lot of passion for martial arts. It's something that changed my life, so I love. You can feel that. I just let the passion out. I think passion is the thing in life that makes life really worth living. So anything I do, I really do passion. I passionately put my everything into everything that I do, or I don't do it. Yeah. And so I enjoy doing all that stuff a lot more, particularly commentating. I really enjoy that.
For sure. So I wanted to say that I really agree with your analysis. This is going back to the Adesanya Romero fight. I really agree with your analysis. I also see it going 5 rounds, decision for Izzy Adesanya. I could see potentially Romero winning that fight, but I think Izzy Adesanya gets it done. So, that's the prediction for the knuckleheads that are watching.
Yeah.
And, appreciate you being on this, man. It's awesome having you on here. Fantastic personality. They know where to follow you now on Instagram, guys. Follow Bulletproof
You guys
Truth.
want to hear about Tony Ferguson versus Khabib?
I'm down to hear that.
I think Khabib smashes Tony in rounds 1 and 2. Might even put him away.
Wow.
When you watch Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson fight, a year ago, a year and a half ago, Kevin Lee down, mounted him in the first round, and it was doing a good amount of damage on him in round 1. An amount of damage that I don't think he'd be able to withstand from Khabib. And I don't think, dude, Kevin Lee had a staph infection for that fight.
Yeah.
So, if a guy like Kevin Lee, nothing against Kevin Lee's wrestling, he's a fantastic wrestler. But dude, Khabib his wrestling's insane. His top game pressure is insane. And I think that he's going to put Ferguson down and just mash on his face and start rearranging guys' faces like he does to everybody. I think round 1 or round 2. I don't think that Tony survives very long.
Wow.
And then people are gassing up like he's never fought a guy like Tony. I don't know what people see as Tony's big weapon to finish Khabib is. Like, he might catch him in a choke. Like,
easier said than done. The wrestling's always, though, the wrestling is the most important base, I think, right, in MMA.
I think it wouldn't surprise me ground and pound or rear naked choke. Dude, Khabib's got a nasty rear naked choke. I was watching him train the other day, and he's like, gets on a guy's back, and he's like, I can kill this dude. Islam style. He's just like smacking the dude, pushing him down. He pops up, chokes the dude, and I'm like, bro, he has a brutal back. I'm trying to kill this dude back. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if that boy has killed people in the mountains, beat him down, choked him out, and killed him in the mountains of Dagestan. I'd be more surprised if he hadn't done that.
That's hilarious. I love it.
And I think the fight to make with Khabib is Nate Diaz. Reason being, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Nate Diaz, he's not even that good. True. This is an entertainment industry. And for those of you that haven't been involved with fighting for as long as I have, about 6 or 7 years ago, at a PFL event, was it PFL? No, it was World Series of Fighting then. It wasn't PFL yet. World Series of Fighting event. The Diaz crew gets into it with the Dagestanis. Bro, and like, I'm talking chairs flying. Diaz supposedly smacked Khabib in the head. And like, dude, I'm talking like 20, 30 people brawl. Like, it got wild. That's the fight to make. People think Conor stuff got outrageous? No, bro. He threw a little dolly at a bus window. And that whole beef started because Khabib and him slapped Artem. Imagine Artem was 30 deep with a bunch of, like, Nate Diaz hoodbangers. Yeah. Bro, it would pop off.
Yeah.
That's already happening. If we can get those, but I don't think they'll make that fight because they know shit's going to pop off. Like, it's going to get wild. So those Dagestanis are...
Not messing around.
Dude, they're not. Those are wild dudes. And the Diaz boys at 219, they ain't playing around either.
Yeah.
Different kind of gangsters, but
still gangsters.
Like,
so that's the Bulletproof Troop dream matchup right now.
I'd be really excited to watch that. I think Khabib would smash him, but I think that build-up would be a lot of fun to watch.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I think Diaz has a way better chance of submitting him than Tony Ferguson does. Like, people want to know Tony's so dangerous. Like, I'm not even saying, dude, Tony's on like a crazy win streak. He's good. I'm not trying to discredit Tony at all. I like Tony as a person and as a fighter. No, dude, Tony's coming back, bro. This is his first fight in like years. Like, he has the old belt still. How long do we have the new belt?
That's funny, man. Yeah.
And
you saw Khabib kicked his belt.
I was just gonna bring that up. Yeah, but so Tony was like crazy for a while, and like, dude, when you're crazy, you're not like focused or trying. Like, I mean, I don't know, I've never been crazy. Like, he was crazy, but I know my brother's like 5150 should be locked in a padded room, crazy. I know that fool couldn't focus on training or anything like. So how long has Tony been right in his head, and what's going on in his personal life? Is he focused on training? Is he just kind of finding himself again? He's like, I need to fight because this is what like centers me. Like, how prepared is he for a
fight of his life? The fight of his life
against the toughest dude the division's ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, like, I did see him kicking the belt. I thought that was hilarious.
That was, man.
But so he said, he puts it down. He's like, put your belt up. Put your belt up. I'm putting my belt down. Put your belt up. Fuck out of here.
It was very McGregor of Habib to do something like that, right? And wasn't that weird?
He's taking notes. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Ali's like, bro, put on a show. This is the entertainment show. All you fighters need to be taking notes too. Put on a show. This is the entertainment industry. Even if you're like, oh, it's so WWE or WWF, depending on how old you are. Yeah, and you know how much those dudes make? $250,000 a year, more. How much y'all making a fight? $250,000?
That's true. Ladies and gentlemen, the honesty from Blake Bulletproof True. Blake, before I let you go, man, and thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. Anything you want to say, anyone you want to shout out ahead of your fight, especially?
Shout out my coaches, Rage and Kenny Johnson, all my training partners, everyone who's helped me prepare for this fight, my family, my friends, my fans, especially. Shout out to all the Bulletproof Troopers and Bulletproof Troopettes around the globe. Big shout out to my sponsors, Rock LA, Inside Graphics, Apex Defensive Strategies. If you ever want to go shooting, slide into my DMs. We'll go hit up Apex Defensive Strategies, do some fun tactical shooting. Rock LA, if you ever need an orthopedic doctor, regenerative cell therapy, let me know. I got the plug. I got it in my shoulder, and it is incredible. Hit me up at Bulletproof Troop on Instagram. Follow the store or follow the page. Watch the story and go to bulletprooftroop.com if you want to pick up some fresh merch. Bang bang.
Friday the 13th, babe.
Turn of the nightmare.
See you, brother. Thank you.